Hey guys, what's up? It's PkmariO, and on my video where I showed having the song Megaton Walk from Earthbound on a cassette tape, this one user here, apologies if I pronounce her name wrong, but Vladimir calls. Again, apologies if I pronounced it wrong. But yeah, he asked me about how I was able to put Megaton Walk onto a cassette. Now, I actually recorded it on this mixtape. Uh, this was the first one that I did. It's on a TDK Type 1 tape, and well, it's the last song on side A. But anyway, he was wondering how I was able to get it onto cassette. Uh, Now, unfortunately, I will have a bit of a hard time showing you how I did it with this boombox because, for one, I can't find a specific piece required in order to get this all to work out, and I can't find the power cord for this. And even then, it also began to chew up my tapes, not necessarily pulling it out of the cassette like you would normally see, but it would chew on the tape while it was playing, and when I went to go play it back, it would make this awful noise. And sometimes there would be a lot of sound dropouts and that kind of crap. But well, you might be well. First, I'm gonna show you how you can do it with this boombox. So, of course, there's gonna be a few things that you're going to require with one of these boomboxes. Now, first of all, it's going to need to have a cassette player with a record button, although I feel as though that's pretty obvious. But the other thing that you're going to need is something that isn't on every single boombox. In fact, the old JVC one that I used to have before my dad eventually gave it away to someone who just wanted to have a radio. They didn't necessarily care about the quality and the fact that one of the speakers was busted or that the cassette player wasn't very good. The CD player also didn't work whatsoever, but well, I mean the CD player did work, but I mean I had a hard time getting it to work a lot of the time. But anyway, so the thing you're going to want to have here is this audio input button, or this audio input jack right here. You're gonna want to have that, and well, then you're gonna need a couple of other things. In this case, I have my iPhone 6 here, but then there's one more key ingredient in order to get this whole thing to work out, and that would be this type of cable. Well, actually, there is one more thing, but yeah, you're gonna need this kind of cable, and which has a headphone jack on one end, so it goes in here, and then these RCA inputs. Both of them are audio, and it doesn't necessarily matter which one you put into which input. But yeah, these are normally the kinds of things that you would see when plugging in an old Nintendo console. And, well, of course you're gonna need a cassette. But then there's one other thing here that I'm missing, and that's a little adapter, because this radio does not have RCA inputs on it. You're gonna need an adapter that you plug both of these inputs into, so that way you can plug it into the front right here. I don't necessarily know what it's called, and I don't even have it, so I can't really show you. But I mean, there is another way that you can do this. If you have, I believe that if you have an Android phone, they they have NFC capabilities, kind of like an amiibo, so you can actually connect that to the radio. I've never actually tried it because I don't really have an Android phone that would be capable of doing that. And the thing is, you do have several options here with this boombox. I mean, you have the CD player, so you can record CDs onto cassette. You also have the radio. And if you use this audio input thing right here, then that just opens up the possibilities even more. Heck, if you wanted to hook up your Walkman, a cassette Walkman, to this thing, then you could potentially record from a cassette to another cassette. But yeah, this isn't exactly the best way of recording cassette tapes, as this first mixtape that I made, it doesn't sound the greatest when I play it back on my other tape deck. So I would recommend that if you want to record music onto cassette from the internet, or even from iTunes or Google Play or whatever you use, then use an actual tape deck. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Okay, so here we are at my tape deck, receiver, turntable. So here I have my, here I have Earthbound, the Megaton Walk, and essentially I just hooked up this cable that you saw earlier on into the CD input. I guess it must vary from each receiver as to where the input is, but on mine it's top closer to the right, but somewhat in the center. Although it should say where the CD input is. I have a tape loaded in here. I'm not sure if you can quite see it, but I also have it on record. And here we have a meter, which we will need to keep this in mind when we're actually playing, when we're actually recording. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into recording the Megaton Walk. So essentially this thing right here is going to monitor the volume of the sound. So what you want is for it to not go too much into the red. Ideally you want it to be at 0 where that Dolby symbol is. Because if you have it too loud, then it will start to distort the volume. And you especially don't want it to be where the lines are barely moving and they're at +4 or even more than that. But you also don't want to have them anything beyond, you don't want to have them anything beyond -6, or actually no, beyond -3. If you go to -6 or anything after that, then you'll just be getting a lot of background hiss in the recording. So anyway, we're going to play it back now. Alright, now let's play back our recording of Megaton Walk from Earthbound. Okay, so there we have it at the 0 and -3 mark. Now the volume is just about to go up. Okay, so there we go. This cassette has been previously used before I started recording on it, so that's why it just cut to whatever song was previously on there. But yeah, there you go. That's how you get the Megaton Walk or any song from the internet onto a cassette tape. And if you do it with a cassette deck, you'll get a better recording, but chances are it's probably going to be more expensive than doing it with a boombox or a Walkman. So it depends. Would you rather do a better quality recording or do it for cheaper? So yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. If you found it helpful, then leave a like. Don't forget to smash Falcon Punch that like button. Yeah, okay. Bye.